no matter what is going on in our movie, we always have access to that which is watching. It's not like it has to be one or the other. It can be both at the same time, and it's quite amazing to start to realize that's what's always been going on, and that whenever we are in something challenging, we're also watching our character go through that challenging thing. The more anchored we are in this reality of that which is untouched by all the moving, changing in the world, the more the identification is with that true part of ourself, the more enjoyable the movie gets. And let me just back up, because there's a huge area of work in between. The reason that stuff is able to come up is because we have anchored somewhat in the awareness of it. When we anchor in our beingness, or that which is untouched, the silent I am, this is a threat to the ego because it creates this space where light can come in, because we are light. And so the light of the true self comes in, and it stirs something inside. It stirs anything that's caught, any knots of energy, which are called karma or vasanas or trauma, that have been unprocessed, that we came here on assignment to process fully. Now that we're on the awakening journey, coming to realize who we truly are, untouched by the karma, the more that we're able to process through these stuck energy emotions, trauma, the more it opens the space. And so then more light comes in. And so then deeper and deeper layers of stuck energy can arise in the love and the safety that we are establishing our true identity as. Or we are remembering that is who we are more and more. And as we do this, then we're able to meet these more and more sticky and tricky and dense layers of emotion, trauma, and stuff that's happened, and we can hold the space for it. And there's this, it's really cool to watch myself right now going through something very deep, an old wound that was brought up by meeting a person and having a deep, deep connection for just 2 days, and then having to say goodbye. So I'm watching myself go through that process, because I felt we merged and we connected so deeply. That has brought something very tender up about really deeply loving someone and then losing them. And it feels like him and I had a past life connection of either he was my son or we were lovers, or both, probably a few different versions, and then suddenly I lost him. So watching myself and having all the emotions that are coming up, the infatuation and the longing for someone, and also that feeling like they're not available, it's all like mixing and stirring this profound, I would say, richness, because it's the human experience of losing somebody, of loving deeply on the human level, and then losing someone that you're so connected with or attached to. We've all gone through it, and that's why I'm sharing my little story, because it's not only my story. We've all loved and lost, and this is why, our hearts are so fragile and so tender, yet at the same time so resilient. But underneath the layers of protection is this precious fragility of the human heart, of the very reason we came to experience these deep human emotions, to fall in love with another person and have them ripped away, to feel what that does to our human heart when it gets cracked open. And in the cracking open, even though it's like painful, it's alive. It's full of richness and life. And if we want to live fully human, 100% in this human play, we have to be willing to like feel the not so fun feelings. And then we also get to experience and fall into the arrows of life. This is a word that's come up in the past couple days because of my recent experiences with engaging with the sensuality of life on a level I've never experienced before, seeing so much beauty and feeling so disconnected to my environment and the earth and nature, and celebrating this and just appreciating and feeling alive with this incredible reflection that's come about through doing the deep work. And so, but also, in the bliss, it was like bliss and rapture and sensuous, a connection for a few days, and just like being wild, like we took our shoes off and walked on these trails in Arches National Park, and we laid naked and just laid out in the sun and made out and just appreciated each other's bodies and connected, and went swimming in this fresh water. And there's these giant red rocks, and these rocks just have so much power and transmission. And now I'm realizing after the fact how incredible the red rocks of Utah are for transformation. He was on a walkabout as well, exploring his own spirituality and figuring out what he wanted with life. And so it's just the other side, going from like that, and then the other side of like, tapping in through my openness and just like my heart opening to this man in a way I haven't felt in a long time. My whole being just opened into, it felt really safe because we have known each other before. And to go through this like deep process with someone, someone that's like, oh, here you are again. That feeling, right? Like, oh, there you are again. And then to have him like, he doesn't even live in this country. So it's just like, and it could just be this interaction to bring this stuff up. And then I'll never talk to him. I don't know if we're going to stay in touch. But the whole point is that life will play itself. And this is the beauty of what's happening now. Being able to watch the movie, what's going on, from the place of awake awareness, untouched, and knowing my astrology, and the context of what's going on, and referring to the symbolism in my chart, knowing that my core wound with daddy and being seen and the vulnerability of like opening up that much again. I mean, and this is true for most of us. This is why I'm sharing. I'm a transpersonal being. 6-2 is transpersonal, meaning what I'm living through and what I share is not, I realize it's not just my story. We're all living different archetypes of the human experience. So through my sharing, perhaps it's going to trigger you to relay and then understand the process of what I'm sharing. Perhaps if you're on the awakening journey, I want to share because I want to share my perspective of how to move through the intensity of Scorpio season, that these Scorpio eclipses that we're in, and South Node in Scorpio. With my Uranus there, it's very much bringing up the old trauma It makes sense of the trauma of, Scorpio is like, you merge with somebody. You merge, like, you just want to melt into them, right? Huh? Or you want to, and you want to merge deeply, and then you do, and then suddenly, boom, betrayal, boom, death. Suddenly they're gone. Suddenly your baby dies, and this baby was, you've never felt any love like this before. Or this partner, you've never felt that depth of love before. And suddenly it's gone. We've all been through this. And so, so it's bringing this trauma up for me, but also collectively, we're all going through these Scorpionic relationship themes. So I know I'm not the only one experiencing grief and shock and abandonment and betrayal and, rejection, all the things that we've experienced with each other. We each have a certain knot to unravel that will repeat itself again and again. And so here it is, Scorpio season. I'm like on the front lines right with you. And I'm watching it unravel. I'm watching the beautiful character Hamsa fully step into this, like, just playing the role 100%, whatever it is, and not being afraid of whatever it is. Knowing this deep truth that whatever is happening, I cannot change it. There's no possible other thing that could be happening than what is happening right now. And there's no, once we surrender, knowing that it's all just playing itself. Every thought, every word, every other person, it's all playing itself for our awakening, for our evolution, to give us the chance to do the work. And so you just know that it's all playing, and so there's no more need or trying to change anything about the character, about the play. It's like just letting it be messy, just letting her be the way she is. And sometimes she's having a meltdown. Sometimes we're having a meltdown. And sometimes we're dancing. And sometimes, we're just like sitting there watching Netflix for hours. And sometimes we're taking marijuana. And sometimes we're, getting obsessive about somebody. And just all the drama is allowed. And not only is it allowed, but it's like beautiful, and it's why we came, to like step into this experience as deeply as possible. And the thing that allows that is the realization of who we really are. That we are light, we are love, and we are eternal. And our being is untouched by anything moving and changing. This is a temporary vehicle for our consciousness to experience itself as every single thing that you're experiencing. And when this body dies, we're still here. And it's even better. And that's part of what I've been fully accepting, is that this human experience, sometimes the way it is quite dull and boring. And that's also a part of it. That it's not about chasing the ecstasy of, because when we leave these bodies, we're going to experience the like unconditional love and pure light and pure connection and so much that we may not get to experience in this human form. We might, But any striving for that is actually like trying to project into a future of what experience I want to have in the future. And that's always futile. To me, it's futile. Well, it's futile to try to like obsess about some experience we want to have. Like we want to always be in bliss. That's futile. Yeah. we want to feel the unconditional, like full, like being bathed in the love of God all the time. Well, that's not really, I don't think that's the human experience. Like it comes and it goes, and we come into the bliss, and we come into more beauty and love and connection, and then we come back and contract in order to alchemize and transmute more density. Whether it's ours, because we finish with ours, and then we go on to the collective. We're like these beautiful alchemists, and our body's going to continue to be used as that while we all anchor more and more deeply in that which is untouched. So love fully. Let your heart open as much as it can. Let yourself be vulnerable to life. Feel all the feels. That's my thing. Feel the numbness. Be in the numbness if there's numbness. Be in the disassociation. It's all okay. It's all supposed to be happening. We are supposed to be feeling the numbness. Like all my dark night of the soul, I was supposed to be going through that so that I could get a deep, deep experience of the demonic and dark side of human life. And also, I had to have the one-pointed hunger for reality and truth and awakening, and that had to come through the deep suffering. So whatever experience you're in, be in it. Allow it. Accept it. And love yourself in it. And always the most helpful phrase, come on in, sadness. Anyone who's been through what we've been through would feel this sad. Oh, honey, I just want to love you. I so love you. It's okay to feel sad. It's really intense when you love someone so deeply and then they're gone. It's scary, and anyone would feel this way. And you just bring that love right into yourself. And there it is, this love of the part of ourself that feels like afraid and fractured and wounded. It gets that love. That's all it wants, is our love. And then it can move through. The energy moves through as emotion, and we're watching the whole time. And then our heart is open even more. And it just keeps going layer and layer and layer of this. And I'm not done with this. I feel like this, whatever's just been triggered in me by this beautiful man I met, there's layers and layers. And you can see I'm excited because it's aliveness. It feels more alive and rich, and like, I know it's cracking my heart open to more fully experience this life and more fully experience merging with God, or just continuing the awakening journey. May all beings realize the love that they are. And may all beings cradle themselves in this love during these intense, challenging, fearful times on the planet. May every single being realize the love that they are and the light that they are. So we can all move through our wounds, helping each other evolve and grow through playing our roles perfectly in our innocence by triggering each other, and each one learning how to hold the space for the play to play itself, to unravel all our human karma. We're in it together. We all have a part to play. Lots of love.